What's up, TacomaBeast fans? Quinn with 74 Weld, giving you a little shop tour today. So we'll walk you through, show you guys how we do production through here, and give you a little inside look. So this is our main side of the machine shop. We do a lot of 3-axis and 4-axis work. It's kind of cool, timing is good. We've got stub shafts for Tacoma Portals in production. So we'll spline both of these. We do it here on a Haas with a rotary, simple 4-axis op. All of our shafts, all of our splines, we cut everything in-house. We do pretty much everything here in this facility. We've got some race car parts going through, and look what we've got going. So this is the second operation on our uprights. We try to rough as much as we can on 3-axis machines because the 5-axis stuff always stays busy. Moving through the shop, the portal boxes. So they start out as a solid chunk of aluminum, and buried within that is a part. This is the second operation on our uprights. And then after this, they end up looking like this. Then they go to our 5-axis stuff, and I'll show you that. Tooling. We've got pallets of finished boxes, and we've got a box running. So this is one of the 3 5-axis machines that we have, a Hermle C250. It's kind of a medium-sized, super high-end, super precision machine, mostly found in aerospace shops. So we do a fair amount of aerospace work. That's why we have this equipment, but it allows us to make stuff that other people in the off-road industry just don't fully do. So they start out as a chunk here. You'll see, so this is Kaiser Select. It's a premium material. There's a bunch of different grades of aluminum. This is 7075. We use this for strength. This material is actually the same tensile and yield, or it's roughly the same as your traditional steel. So while it's aluminum, we're not sacrificing strength. And all material, if you look at it, it'll be heat lotted. So you'll see, this is a 7075 T351 aluminum plate. This actually starts life as a 10-foot by 20-foot sheet of plate, and then they get cut. And that's what they look like before we start. This whole block will turn into probably, goes from about a little over 100 pounds down to about an 8-pound upright.
Dude, that's amazing.
So lots of stuff to remove. Kind of why we run it on a big Doosan is it's just a lot of chips to make. So axle shafts getting ready to be splined. We cut all of our shafts in-house, and we'll spline them next. So they start out as raw bar. We turn it, and those are just going through production. Some finished Tacoma uprights. So this is what they're looking like after they get anodized. This is a finished part ready for inserts. Cruise on down, we'll show you the assembly. So in every contact point, we don't have your ball joints or heims or any of that stuff touching aluminum. So we press in a knurled steel space, or it's essentially just an insert. So you'll always have metal on metal contacting. These are basically ready to go on your truck.
These are going on mine?
Yeah.
Dude, look how beautiful that looks, guys. For all you gearheads out there, just look at this beauty.
So you'll see a little bit different color between the two. That's because our boxes we make out of a 6 series aluminum. Our uprights are a 7 series. 7 series has a higher nickel content in it. That gives it the strength. This is the same material that we run, like down here. We've got some display units. So 7 series upright, this is what Lauren Healy and Vaughn Gittin, Casey Curry, Greg Adler, this is what they run on the front of like an Ultra 4 or a trophy truck. So yeah, Chad's buttoning up assembly on some of this stuff.
This is the rear, right?
That's your rear, yep. It's pretty simple. So if you look at the back of a Tacoma housing, you'll have a 4-bolt flange. Our portal just registers into that 4-bolt flange with studs. And so the weight of the portal and the weight of your whole vehicle gets carried by this part. On all the aluminum pieces that we make, we tell everybody it's a lifetime warranty on them. I challenge people, if you can break it, give it back to us. We'll give you a new one. In about a decade of doing this, a little over that, I've yet to replace a single, nobody's taken me up on it. So
You guys heard that? I'm gonna go try to break it now.
Go try to break it, man. We'll give you a new one if you do. Good luck. And then we've got a bunch of steering rack stuff. So this steering gear right here is for the new Ford Broncos. Don't worry, Tacoma World. We have a solution coming for the Tacoma. It's in engineering now.
Oh, dude, I got goosebumps.
Give us a couple months. We will get one through. We've been doing a bunch of kind of homework and seeing what we want to change on it. But we will have a bomb-proof solution for the Tacoma, Forerunner, and all that. Yeah.
We need them.
So that's coming.
Dude, what is that back there? That looks massive.
This is actually for a solid axle race car. So this will be for King of the Hammers for a 4800 class.
That looks beefy.
This is our 4-gear race stuff. So this is the best of the best. This is essentially designed for 1,000 horsepower. Big tires, big engines, hardcore guys that want to beat it in a race application. So, and
have any of your race car guys breaking this?
Not boxes. We've had, sure. I mean, I'm never going to sit here. If you don't break something, then you're not pushing it hard enough.
And the racing guys are. I mean, they're pushing it to the
So
absolute.
we've had racing guys have failures. We have not had a gear set break. We've had guys accidentally run them without oil in them. That doesn't work too well. It's just like running a diff without oil. We've had stub shafts break, but as far as like the major guts in it, no, we don't really see failures on that. We'll see, like on the race stuff, they might only get 1,000 miles out of a gear set, but that's, I mean, that's racing, man. Like the benchmark is, can it last the Baja 1000? Yeah. And in desert, sure, easy. In rock crawling, they get about 1,000 miles out of a gear set, and we start to see a little bit where we go, hey, there's pitting in this, we change it out. So, but not failures per se, that's just, they have a lifespan on them. So, yeah, I'll show you one of the gears. So this is our...
Oh my God.
Well, this is what goes
that,
just in the bolt-on setup stuff. So this is essentially what you're running on. Yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah, now this is the big boy stuff.
Dude, guys, this is, oh, I love this. Look at that. Look at that piece.
So that's race. So this is the gear package. We'll show you this for race. But then it's worth showing this because we'll compare to what we put in the Tacoma, okay? So a smaller gear doesn't mean a weaker gear. It just means a different gear ratio. 1,000 horsepower, trophy truck, Ultra 4 in this hand. This is what's in the Tacoma. So it is slightly narrower, but if you look, it's the same tooth profile, right?
Oh, wow.
So we basically take what we learned from racing and implement it into a bolt-on application. So the diameter difference, it's 10%. So yeah, in theory, this is gonna be 10% weaker, but if they're not breaking it with 40s and 1,000 horsepower at KOH, you're probably gonna be okay.
Which one of you taco guys is gonna break it? I don't think you guys can, man.
Somebody, I'm sure, at some point will. We're about 2 years into this, and we've yet to have a single gear issue, knock on wood, but we just overbuild it a little bit, and...
I mean, you guys are building some rad stuff, man. This looks, just by looking at it, you can clearly see that this is some quality.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love that touch right there, man. Let me ask you this, why 74 Weld?
So the name originally came, I did like aerospace welding when I started, and the 74th element on the periodic table was a big W for welding. It's wolfram, which is tungsten. It's a key part of TIG welding. So the name just kind of came from that, and I got into machining and didn't really feel like changing it, and had an opportunity, but just, if it's not super interesting to me, and names are just names, and we kind of have a reputation from racing, so I just stuck with it.
It sounds really nice, dude.
Yeah, and you get a third bearing, so we use unit bearings on everything. So these are SKF. This is basically just a Tacoma wheel bearing, and your factory sensor we modify, and it sits right in this hole.
So all the sensors are going to be working fine?
All your ABS works.
No Christmas tree on the dash.
No Christmas tree on the dash. Everything just functions.
Cannot wait to get these on our truck, and cannot wait to go beat on them. It seems like I'm going to have an absolute blast. The only worry that I have is that I'm gonna push it so hard that there's potential that I'll flip the truck over. I think that's where the real problem lies, you know?
Yeah.
That's where that will become a problem, but no.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, I just see that, like, the limits of a Tacoma, I don't think you're gonna push it to where you can get into a situation where you can break something like this. I mean, I just wheeled that through the Rubicon 2 weeks ago, and, well, we'll show you the rear bumper. It didn't fare so well, but other than that, man, the truck worked amazing, like super fun.
You wanna go check it out?
Sure, let's go check it out. The truck did amazing at Rubicon, super fun. I had a blast, and I love the truck because I'm able to like carry all the gear, throw the GFC on it, wheel with my kids.
Dude, you can tell you were having fun. Look at that.
Well, the other side's worse.
Completely off.
Yeah, bent the hitch. And then
look at that, guys.
We ran Rubicon to make it even more interesting. We ran it when it was during Hurricane Hillary, or whatever you want to call it. So it was like torrential downpour the whole time that we were on the trail. It got nice when we got to Rubicon Springs. I did manage to get into that side a little bit, but nothing that, you know, you can't buff out. Not a big deal.
It'll buff out.
I actually got somebody on Instagram that called me out right when I got this truck and I built it, and they're like, you know, let's be honest, it's gonna be a show queen. And I kind of chimed in, I'm like, you obviously don't know me very well. I don't even have, I barely had 1,000 miles on it when I took it to Rubicon. And most of that has been Big Bear miles, and then came back and went, all right, let's like actually push the truck a bit. So push it through Rubicon, the thing does amazing. And this is essentially stock height. So stock truck 37s straight on it with just portals. A conventional lift, you're having to take the A-arms and go from like, you know, a couple degree angle and lift it that way. And so you can only do so much, and you've maxed out the angle of the CVs on the front end, and they're short CVs, we all know. So the beauty of the portal is that it allows you to keep, we actually have, I mean, if you look at the CV angle, so this is ride height, right? We're a dead flat CV angle.
That's amazing.
So the big portion of this is I put a Fox Performance Series shock on it, so it gets 1 inch more travel out of it. But the beauty is you're sitting right in the middle of that shock stroke, so you get good equal up and down, because all long travel kits, they're like all up travel, no down, which is why everybody has to gut their inner fender wells, right? So I still have all my factory plastic inside the fenders. I've done...
And you're rocking 37s.
And I'm rocking 37s.
Look at
so
that, guys.
I have had to trim from here back a little bit, massage the firewall a hair.
As if you had 33s on or something.
Well, but if you look back in there, like you can see, all right, like it has potential to rub at full stuff ever so slightly, but I've clearanced this enough now that like rubbing's not a problem.
That's amazing, dude.
And you get a 37 with it. We'll see what it looks like on 39s to 40s. We've got several builds that guys are like, I want to run 40s, and I say to them, so this platform, when we tested the gear set and developed it, it all came, the first application we did was Jeeps. And so mostly, like I bought a 392. So we're a V8 and 40s. And we don't have any issues with that. So I tell guys, like, look, if you want to run a 40 on a Tacoma, man, the only thing you're going to have to do, you'll have to trim some firewall, but go for it. Like, the Portal can take it. So we'll get to see some of those coming soon. That I'm excited for.
Oh, yeah. And guys, so Quinn is, I called him before coming here, and I was like, dude, what should I go with? Should I do 37s like you have, or should I get a little bit more aggressive and go with 39s? And that's what we're about to do. So make sure to stay tuned for that. We're probably gonna have another video showcasing all of the struggle and everything that we gotta do to make it happen.
It'll be a little bit of trimming, but we'll make it fit.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks for the walk around, man. Really appreciate that.
Cool.
There you guys have it. That about wraps it up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this walk around. Quinn, thank you so much.
Pleasure, man. It's good.
If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to smash that like button. If you haven't already done so, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we will see you on the next one.